Hello and welcome to the Fitting Florets Fun Fold Suite-A-Licious Club for this month. I am super excited. This is such a gorgeous set. The designer series paper and these gorgeous gold adhesive back swirls are just stunning, plus the beautiful stamp sets and dies that we have for this set. So of course you will need the stamp sets and you will also need the dies to be able to complete this class, plus you will need your cardstock and matching inks to be able to do the fun folds that we're doing this month. So you will get a full pack of the designer series paper, you'll get a pack of the adhesive back gold swirls, and you'll also get a roll of our beautiful polished pink ribbon. So I'm actually going to do a fun fold this month that is just using the designer series paper and making a card base out of the designer series paper and showing you exactly how you can really showcase our designer series paper. I'm just going to move those aside and we will get started. So the cutting measurements for the cards will be the same for each one. So I've got 3 pieces of designer series paper here that I will be using as our card bases. So I've actually cut these at 4 inches by 12 inches. So I've got 3 pieces of designer series paper and they've got gorgeous patterns on the back, as you can see. All right, so these are the 3 that I've chosen, and I thought I would do a different type of theme for each one and show you exactly how versatile this gorgeous paper and suite is. So I'm going to start off with this one here, and this you can actually color the berries in on this one and make it more festive if you wanted to. But what we're actually going to do, so we've got it 4 inches by 12 inches. We're actually going to score at 5 3/4 inches and 11 1/4 inches. So I'm just going to bring in that trimmer and show you where I scored those. So as I said, we're cutting at 4 inches, so 4 inches by 12 inches. So you will be able to get 3 of these out of 1 sheet of designer series paper. And then we're going to score it at 5 3/4 inches there, and we're going to score it at 11 1/4 inches just there. Okay, and then what we're actually going to do is we're going to fold that. Now this is going to be our card base, so we're going to fold that and burnish it with our bone folder like that. And then this piece is going to fold back, and that's actually going to showcase the designer series paper. So you have to watch out if you've got a directional piece of designer series paper for this type of card. All right, now we did mention that you needed to have some of our gorgeous in color glimmer paper, and the reason that we decided to use the in color glimmer paper is that some of these colors go really pretty with the designer series paper. So I've used some of the Sweet Sorbet, and I've also used some of the Starry Sky for my cards that I'm going to do. All right, so we've got that one. Now I've gone ahead and I've cut a few things out ahead of time. So the star of the show are these gorgeous frames. So I'm actually going to use just a basic white one. Now we have, I'm just going to show you the dies that go with this set so you can see how gorgeous they are. So the framed and festive stamp set, this one here, it's actually not going to go through to our catalog. So if you love this framed and festive stamp set, then I suggest you get them. So you can see here we've got the frame. So this one here that I've used is that one right there. Okay, this one here I've actually used as, I'm going to use it as an insert on a card. So that's actually this large one here, and you have to make sure you've got the hearts going up the right way. And then this one here actually cuts like a little frame. So I've actually cut a couple of little frames, out of the glimmer paper that I thought we would be able to use. And then we've got some gorgeous foliage pieces. So some beautiful dies in this set. So I've gone ahead and cut a few of those things so that it would cut down the time of this video. And as you can see, that one can fit inside that one as well. So that die with the hearts, it actually just cuts out the heart shapes and leaves the whole lot of the cardstock in one thing. So but that frame can actually fit inside and actually cut out that oval. And then the middle of this one cuts out a white oval as well. So I've actually cut out a few of the white ones. I've cut out some of the glimmer ones and things to be able to use on these 3 cards. All right. So the first thing what we're going to do is, as I said, we've scored at 5 3/4 and 11 1/4 inches, and that folds back like that. I'm actually going to take some of the glimmer paper, and I think I'm just going to take on this one some of the, let me see if the sweet sorbet is going to go with this. Yeah, I'm going to just do a little strip of that sweet sorbet. So I'm just going to grab my paper trimmer and I'm going to cut about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so we're going to do that, and that's going to give us a little bit of glimmer for the front side here, and we're going to cut it out 4 inches because it is 4 inches wide, this card. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to adhere that down onto that, and that's actually going to give a little bit of stability to the front of this card. So I'm just going to use some Seal Plus. I'm going to add some Seal Plus here on my designer series paper, and I'm also going to add some Seal Plus just on the edge of that glimmer, and I'm also going to add some on to the back of that glimmer as well, because I want that glimmer to actually stick down onto my card. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to line that up where I think I want it to be, to get the Seal Plus on the right side. So I'm just going to line that up like that on that card front, and then I'm going to press that one into it. Whoops, a little bit closer there, like so. Okay, so like that, and then I'm going to press this one into it, and that's going to give me a little bit of glimmer happening there, but a lot of stability in the front of that frame there. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to take one of those basic white frames that we have that cut out of the center, so just like that. I'm going to take that basic white frame, and I'm actually going to stamp one of these Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. So I'm going to grab that stamp out. Okay. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. So I'll grab that, and I do apologize because I don't have my sticker on my stamp, but that's okay. We will mount that up like that. Okay, I'm going to use some Evening Evergreen as the ink for this sentiment, and I'm just going to ink up that sentiment. Okay, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and I'm going to stamp that in the center of that frame. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Now, with the floral stamp set, I'm actually just going to take some of those leaves, and I'm going to stamp some leaves just to add a little bit of interest to our frame, to our sentiment label. Pop that onto there. Now I'm actually going to use a scrap piece of paper, and I'm going to stamp off with the Evening Evergreen just to get a bit of a difference in the color. So I'm going to stamp some of them full strength, and some of them I'm going to stamp off. So I'll just pop that on there like that. Okay, so I'm going to stamp one full strength like that. But then I'm going to stamp off and stamp on. And that way we get a bit of a variegation with those leaves. I'll stamp one coming in through there. And I think that's about all I'm going to do for that one. Okay. So we are then going to pop our frame onto the front of our card. So I'm just going to pop out some of those little pieces that are in that frame. And I'm actually going to pop this frame down, and then I'm going to pop up that sentiment layer that we did. Okay, so pop out those little pieces. Okay, so I'm actually going to lay that one down directly onto there. So I'm just going to use a bit of liquid Tombow, and this piece is going to peek out a little bit, but it will still fit into a regular size envelope, so you don't have to panic. So I'm actually not going to put any glue on those top peaky pieces. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue around this frame, like so. And just on that top peaky piece, I'm just going to leave those without any glue. So I'm just going to adhere that onto the front of my card, just like that. Okay. And then this piece we're going to pop up on dimensionals. And that's going to fit really nicely into that oval, because that's actually the center bit that came out of the oval in the first place. So take off the backings. Okay. And that piece is going to pop up in the center of that oval, like that. Okay. Now I've done a couple of die cut pieces here in just our basic white, and I thought keeping this nice and simple, but just adding some embellishments in basic white, it just gives it a little bit of a I don't know, elegant type of look, and a really quite a nice traditional look. So I'm just going to add that there. And I'm probably gonna pop. I'm gonna add that one up there. So I'm just gonna add that. Okay. Just there like that. Wait until that takes hold, which it has. And then I think I'm just going to pop, I've got another couple of white leaves here. Just a couple of white leaves over on that side. Just here, like so. And that just gives a really cute look for the front. I'll just add those, a little bit of Tombow on the back of that. And oh, like that. Okay. Now, for the insert of this card, I'm just going to add a little bit of basic white. So you can see here, that's going to then give a nice little edging piece on the front here. So I'm just going to stamp another sentiment inside. So we will do 'Tis the season to be jolly, or maybe From Our Home, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. We might do From Our Home to Yours. Sounds good. From Our Home to Yours, that one. Okay. So for this one, I'm actually going to use a little bit of Real Red for the sentiment, and then I'm going to stamp some of those leaves again. So I'm going to bring in that piece mat and that scrap piece of paper. Okay, so I'm just going to grab some real red and stamp the sentiment in the middle. This is a really, really basic fun fold, but so easy. So from our home to yours, and then I'll just grab the leaf again in Evening Evergreen, and we will pop some leaves coming down through here. And you will see these from the front. Whoops. There. Okay, and then some over on this side here. Okay, and then that is going to adhere to the insert of our card, and that's then going to give stability to the back of the card. So a lot of people think when we use designer series paper as the card base that it's not strong enough, but it is when we do layers like this, because it actually adds strength to the card. Now you could also put a layer into, let me get that right, needs to be there. Now you could even put an insert layer in there as well, and that will add a little bit more stability to the front, but I don't think it needs it. So I'm just going to grab some of those gorgeous gold adhesive back swirls, and you will find this will just absolutely finish off this gorgeous card. So I'm going to add a collection of them just here, like so, and I'm just going to add another one just here like that. Okay, so there you have your first super easy fun fold card, but as you can see, it really showcases the gorgeous designer series paper that we have. All right, let's move on to card number 2. So card number 2, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to bring in our paper trimmer, and we're going to score at 5 3/4 inches and 11 1/4. Okay, now be careful when you're scoring your designer series paper that you don't overscore it too much, because our designer series paper is much thinner than our cardstock, so you need to be really careful that you don't overscore it too much. So we're going to do that one now, and then of course this one folds back that way, and it's going to give us that look there. Now for this one, I'm actually going to do it in a different orientation. So I'm actually going to do it going this way. So I'm going to use this gorgeous love heart one. Now you get all of these little tiny hearts that come out of that too. You can use those hearts as embellishments on your projects, so please don't discard those. Maybe get a little container and pop them into a little container, and you'll find that you'll be able to use it quite a bit when it comes to embellishing your projects. So I'm just going to grab some of that gorgeous gorgeous glimmer paper, and I'm just going to take a strip off that the light piece of this. So I'm going to do 3/4 of an inch again, and I'm going to do it by 4 because it's 4 inches wide. Okay, so we're going to use that piece there. So you can see that this glimmer paper goes absolutely gorgeous with this. But what we're going to do this time is we're actually going to add a little bit of ribbon going around this as well. So I want to add my ribbon onto this piece here at the front. So I'm just going to grab my roll of ribbon, and what I suggest is you just pop a little bit of Seal Plus in there. I'm going to grab our ribbon, and we're going to wrap the ribbon around that little front panel. So we're going to do that. I'm going to wrap it around that way and then pop it into. So this is going to hide the workings of the ribbon in behind here. I'm going to just wrap it around, and we're going to wrap it and stick it into that. So we're just going to get a little strip of ribbon that is wrapping around there. And I'm going to trim that off. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to sit our glimmer paper in and see where we want it. So I actually want a little bit more of this glimmer paper being seen this time. So I'm actually going to adhere the glimmer paper about a ½ inch up from that bottom piece. So I'm just going to add some Seal Plus onto the back there, eyeball it about ½ inch up like that. Then we're going to add some Seal Plus across there, and that piece then is going to adhere into there. Okay, so we've got a gorgeous strip of the glimmer, we've got our beautiful ribbon there. All right, so for this one, I thought what we would do is do a really, really gorgeous wishes for your birthday. So I'm going to take the white layer once again, and that's going to be for the front. So I'm actually going to do for a special person on a special day. We'll do that one. There. And I'm going to do that one in polished pink. I'm going to take my pierce mat again. I'm going to bring in that oval, and I'm going to stamp that sentiment just over towards the left on that oval. Sorry, towards the right on that oval for a special person on a special day. Then I'm going to take these gorgeous flowers, and I'm just actually going to stamp them in our balmy blue. Now you're probably thinking, what in the world is she doing? But I just wanted to have a hint of flowers, and then I'm going to embellish as well. I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp those around. So we've got balmy blue happening there, and I'm just going to randomly stamp them around that sentiment, like so. Now for our insert, I'm going to use the one that we did, the hearts, and I'm going to take that other sentiment that says wishes for a beautiful birthday. That one there. I'm going to ink that one up in our polished pink as well. And I'm going to stamp that right in the middle there. Wishes for a beautiful birthday. With these balmy blue flowers again, I'm just going to add a little bit of interest in the corner of these. I'm just going to ink that up again. I'm going to add a little bit of flowers coming in, peeking in on those corners. One there, and another one just there. Okay, so that's the insert for our cards. So we've got the insert, we've got the gorgeous layer there. I'm going to use this beautiful polished pink layer for the front. So I'm just going to poke out some of those bits that were still left in there. Okay, that's all of them. All right, so once again, I'm going to glue this layer down with some liquid glue. So just popping a little bit of liquid glue around that frame. And we're going to adhere that down onto the front of our card, like so. Okay. Now for this piece here, we're going to pop that up with some dimensionals. There. Okay. And we're going to pop that just on there like that. Okay, I've gone ahead and I've cut some of those gorgeous embellishments out. So I have a beautiful blue one here. So this is out of the Orchid Oasis glimmer paper. Just poking out some of those little pieces. So these die cuts are absolutely stunning for embellishing. Okay. Those out. Sorry, this is taking me a bit of time. That one and that one. All right. So we have that one there. So that one I'm actually going to pop in under this oval. So I'm just going to pop that in, that it's just going to embellish like so. And I have a couple of little leaves that I thought were quite cute. So we've got in the Starry Sky, sorry, Orchid Oasis as well. So I'm just going to pop out those little pieces. Okay. And I'm just going to add some of those in underneath. Oh, here I was thinking I was saving some time, but I didn't poke out all the pieces. Anyway. All right. I might actually just pop those in down under there. I think that looks quite cute. Down through under there, like that. And there's still a piece there. All right, so we have that. Absolutely, as you can see, so super cute. So I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid Tombow onto those and pop that one in under there, coming out through there. A little bit of Tombow on these ones. In under there. Another one. Pop him in under there. Now I also cut out one of those gorgeous frames out of that glimmer as well. So I'm just going to pop that on there, and you can see that just dresses up the insert absolutely beautifully. So I'm just going to add a little bit of Tombow around on that frame. And that was cut with that smallest oval out of the set. Okay, pop that there like that. Okay, and then of course this one is going to then adhere to the inside of our card, and as I said, that's going to give stability to that card base as well. We're going to open up, and that is going to go in there like that. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to tie a gorgeous bow with our ribbon and add that to the front. Okay, so we're going to add that down here at the bottom. So I'm just going to do some Seal Plus and add that there. Okay. And then of course our gold adhesive back swirls, we will take your pick tool and we will pop some of those around. And there you have your second gorgeous fun fold card using just the designer series paper. So as you can see, absolutely a really, really effective way of using both sides of that designer series paper. So let's move on to our third and final fun fold. And same thing again, I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer and we're going to score this one. Now, I'm going to do this one a little bit different so you can see a bit of a difference. So this is probably more for the US sizing rather than Australian sizing, but we can actually score at 5.5 inches and at 11 inches. So I wanted to show you just this little bit of a difference in the measurement. So instead of, so with this one, I've done at 5.5, I've scored, and at 11 inches and scored. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a change up here. So then, of course, with our bone folder, and as I said, this is probably more for the US people. It's a little bit shorter and squattier for our envelopes. So I'm going to fold that one, and then this one folds back that way. Okay, so you can see there that that is a total even part, so you're not actually going to see that that little piece peeking out there. So I'm going to do that like that. I'm going to add a little piece of this on the glimmer paper. So I'm going to cut 1 inch of that, and I think that's it. No, not quite 4 inches, so we'll cut that at 4. Okay. And once again, we will add that down to the bottom here again. So I'm just going to pop some Seal Plus on the back of that one and pop that about 1/2 inch up, like so. And then we will add some Seal Plus on that, like that. Okay. Now I have this gorgeous, beautiful frame here that's going to go with that glimmer. So I thought I might use that one. So I'll poke out the little pieces once again. Okay, that. And what I love about this bundle is that it's for all occasions. So I think we have some really, really great sentiments in the stamp sets. And it can be a go-to set that you could use for lots and lots of different occasions, birthdays, Christmas, if you get the festive set. So I think it's a really good staple that you might like to add to your craft room. Okay, so let's pop out that little one there. Okay, so with that, I'm going to adhere that down with my liquid Tombow. I'm going to change up the oval a little bit on this one. And we're going to add a super cute frame to our oval. Okay, so we're going to glue that one down. Just there, like that. Okay. Now, with our oval, I have a white oval here, but I wanted to bring in some of that pinkish color into it as well. So you can see here that we can actually add that gorgeous frame to the oval, and then that just gives it some layering as well. So I'm going to stamp in that one. I think I'm going to have this one going this way, so I'm going to do it that way. Thank you with all my heart. So a beautiful thank you card. That. To block. Will that fit? Yes. Okay. So I'm actually going to do a little bit of starry sky as the stamping, the color here. But of course you can choose a color that, as I said, goes with the gorgeous paper. So we have that. And then what I thought we would do is we've got some really gorgeous flowers that on the designer series paper, our die actually fits and cuts out the flower. So I just wanted to show you, it is this flower just here. So I'm actually going to cut that flower out. I'm going to use the die because the die actually cuts out the flower, which is super, super awesome. I love the fact that Stampin' Up! Actually do that with our designer series paper. They allow our dies to actually fit with the designer series paper. So I'm just going to grab the die that goes with that. This one here. So as you'll see, this one here will actually fit around that, so we can actually use that. So I'm just going to bring in the die cutting machine and we'll cut that. Okay, so just going to pop that around that flower and run that through. Got it in place, yeah. Okay. So we have that. Okay. So I'm actually going to add that gorgeous banner around, sorry, the border around, the frame around first. So we'll use our liquid Tombow. And pop that frame around that white oval. Okay, so just like that. Then I'm going to adhere that straight down into that frame that we have there. Whoops. Like so. Then, of course, I'm going to pop up that gorgeous flower on the front. So probably just like that. So I'm just going to grab some dimensionals and pop that up. Now I'm just adding 2 dimensionals in the middle of that flower because I want to be able to pop some of those gorgeous embellishments in underneath. I think I want it to Go just like that. Okay, so I've got this gorgeous one that I've cut out of the Sweet Sorbet, the light part of the glimmer paper. And of course, I didn't pop out my bits and pieces again. I do apologize for how long this is taking. Out those pieces, but I think this glimmer paper really just sets off the embellishments for these cards, because I just think, I don't know, we add a little bit of bling, it just blings it up and makes it look so much better. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one coming in down through there, and then of course I've got a blue one, and I need to pop out some of those, and I've got some white leaves as well. All right. So sorry about how long it's taking me to pop these pieces out, but it's worth it. Definitely worth it in the end. Okay. That one. Now, I think I'm going to bring that one in there. That one looks quite cute in there like that. Okay, so I'm going to add some glue to those and adhere those in. Okay, so pop that in under there. Let him come up through there. This one. Down through under there. And then, of course, we've got these gorgeous white leaves that I think are just going to stand out on top of that designer series paper. So I'm just going to tuck them in underneath that flower, just there, and another one coming up through the top. Through there. Okay. And of course, as far as a gorgeous bow on here, I think a bow sitting down there in the bottom underneath that floral arrangement will be really, really cute. So we're just going to tie some of that polished pink ribbon. And add it just below here. I'm just going to add a little bit of Seal Plus and tuck that bow just up in underneath that flower, like so. Okay, so for the insert, what I thought I would do is just show you how you could change up the insert a little bit by using this frame as a little bit of a mask. So I thought what we might do is actually pop a bit of glue down, and then I just want to pop a tiny, tiny little bit of glue, like just a dab of glue that's going to hold it in place, but we're going to be able to lift it up when we're finished. A tiny, tiny little dab of glue just to hold that there, just while I do a little bit of blending with a brush. So wait until it gets a little bit tacky, or you can use a glue dot, or you can just hold it in place. But I'm going to use a blending brush with our polished pink ink. Polished pink. And I'm going to grab my pierce mat and my scrap piece of paper. And I just wanted to use this frame as a bit of a stencil. So I'm just going to grab some of the polished pink, get off the excess, and then I'm just going to do a little bit of blending, add a bit more polished pink again, hold that frame a little bit of blending. Once again, a little bit more. Okay. And then I'm going to use the spatula end and I'm just going to carefully lift that frame up. So with a tiny, tiny little dab of glue. And as you can see, we've got a gorgeous frame there just by adding that as a stencil. Okay, so I'm then going to stamp in the middle of that. Thank you with all my heart. Just a reminder that you are loved, I think. We will add that. What's the other one say? Oh, so lucky to call you a friend. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so let's do that. So lucky to call you a friend. And I'm going to do that in the Starry Sky again. Where did I put that? Okay. I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to stamp that right in the middle there. And then I'm just going to take that little flower image. There's a tiny little flower here. We've got a couple of little flowers. So I'm just going to stamp some of those just in our Starry Sky as well. That. I'm going to stamp one just there. And the other one. Up there. And another little one. Just there. And then, of course, we've got those gorgeous leaves that we used on the first one. So I'm actually going to stamp them just in a little bit of balmy blue. So I'm just going to clean those off first with my cleaner. And grub out the balmy blue. And I'm just going to ink that up and add just some light leaf foliage. Like that, and a little bit just up through there. Like that. And there you can see you've got a gorgeous insert for the card using one of those die cuts as a stencil. Okay, and that's going to then adhere to the inside of the card. And that will be our third and final fun fold card, but using your designer series paper to its full extent. So you can see there. Oh, and my insert. Okay, my insert was for the other size card. So I'm just going to have to trim that off a little bit there. So let's just trim that to make that nice and level. I do apologize for that. But there you go. Okay. So, and then just to finish off, we will use our gorgeous gold swirls. And we will embellish. And one just over in there. And there you have your third and final fun fold card using this gorgeous set. So let's just bring in those 3 cards that we did. So you can see there we've done one going this way and using the frame as a mask, as a stencil for inside. We've got this gorgeous one here going up this way and using one of those frames in there. And then, of course, our Christmas one going this way. So hopefully you have enjoyed those 3 fun fold cards, and I look forward to crafting with you again next month. Thank you very much, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye for now.